Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. We had a missed front end from Villanova after Trey Alexander missed a shot, and then Eric Dixon committed a foul on Baylor Shireman with 6 seconds left. So we're counting down the seconds there. Before we talk about this actual game, I do want to ask you guys big picture on just kind of Big East stuff because we saw UConn get smacked at Seton Hall, and we saw Marquette get smacked at Providence, and now we're seeing Villanova go into Creighton and put themselves in a position where they have a chance to win. Baylor Shireman, by the way, missed the front end of a 1-on-1. So it is 68-66, and Villanova shooting 2 free throws. Is this just a product of a balanced league, Henson? Is this a product of that conference is deeper than we thought? Or maybe the top of the Big East just is not what we thought it was coming in?
The Big East is tough to figure out because, like you don't like Villanova. They tease us, right? Like now they come into Creighton and they, get a really high level win, but they struggle in the Big Five, like within the city. They can't beat anybody in Philly. So I think that's just a compliment to the Big East's depth. I think throughout this year we're going to see a lot more upsets. You've got St. John's coming up to
Hey,
back
real
in.
quick, that game just went final. Tyler Burton missed the front. We had 3 front end and 1-on-1s missed in the last 6 seconds of that game, and the Baylor Shireman missed a 28-footer. So Creighton loses at home to Villanova. That is a massive win for Villanova. It's insane, man. They get outside the city of Philadelphia and they can beat anybody on any court. But if you're in Philly, you better watch out because they're not showing up.
If they have to travel if they got to do a short ride from the dorm room, they're beatable. So as long as they stay outside of Philly, I think they're going to be good. But that's just the program. They're a good team, as we can see. So they're going to be kind of a wild card for me this year, right? Coming against like the UConns and the Providences where you just don't know. But I think that's a credit to the depth of the Big East. I don't think it's detrimental or we're saying the Big East is down. I think the Big East has a lot more depth than we're seeing, and we're going to see it this year. We've seen it. I mean, the last 2 days, right? Marquette,
Mhm.
and now UConn, the 2 perennial favorites, losing. So it's going to be a fun one in the Big East. Which shout out to the Big East being back, though. I mean, shout out to them because it was struggling for when I was in school. We weren't worried about it. So shout out to them being back.
I do enjoy him being back. Matt, how big is this win for Villanova? I mean, with some of the struggles that they have, we know how the pressure that was being kind of put on Kyle Neptune here. How important was it to go out there and get this win at Creighton in the Big East opener?
Our colleague Chris Mack said it best in terms of Villanova. He always calls them Jekyll and Hyde. I'll never forget that when we were on the show, and he called them Jekyll and Hyde because they go and they win. The battle for Atlantis. They win that. They come back. They're celebrating, but they can't win a game in the Big Five. So I think it's huge. And I sound like a broken record when I say this, but Kyle Neptune's a young head coach that is taking over. Yes, Villanova, unbelievable opportunity for him, unbelievable opportunity for his coaching staff when Jay Wright left. But that's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing for John Shire to take over from Mike Krzyzewski. The expectations are out of control at those places for young head coaches. This win was huge. And I think it just goes to show you the strength of the league. Like if you think about this and you're looking at the teams right now that are at the bottom of the league, and we'll take DePaul and throw them out. But can you imagine lining up and playing against Ed Cooley? You're talking about a guy that, changed Providence's trajectory of their program for where it was at. Now he's at Georgetown. They're having a quote unquote down year, and he's on the other sidelines. Rick Pitino, St. John. I mean, it is going to be a battle every single night. And to Henson's point, it's back, man. The Big East is back. And that's why you're seeing these teams, drop some games. I mean, that's a huge, huge win for Villanova. And I think for Kyle Neptune, too, just to solidify yourself as you're continuing to learn who you are as a head coach, grow, get better, and improve. But that was big, and that was extremely impressive to go on the road and win that one, right before Christmas. And because, look, when January hits, when you get back from Christmas break, you're staring down a gauntlet. And every single program in the country is, just in terms of what's coming. Some of you guys are playing 2 conference games a week. Some of you guys are playing 3. You're staring down this gauntlet. So to be able to get some conference wins, especially on the road early, that's huge for Villanova.
Yeah, and the biggest thing was they were able to get this win, and they don't have Justin Moore. Eric Dixon is, I mean, he might be one of the most
That
underrated
guy.
players in the sport. Man.
Yeah.
He had 32 going up against Ryan Calkburn, back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East. He's an absolute monster, absolute stud. I love the fact that he is this 6'6", 260-pound, looking like an offensive lineman, and they're running him off of like pin downs to get him curling into threes. Like that is their offense, is to get their 260-pound 5-man curling into threes. I do want to hit on, and you're exactly right, both of you guys, about this win for Villanova. I think that it's a statement win and it's something that they needed. I'm worried about Creighton. And the reason I'm worried about Creighton is that I think Greg McDermott runs incredible stuff and incredible offense. But if you are able to keep them from getting stuff in transition and getting offense out of their sets, right? If you can take them out of what they want to run, I just don't know if they have anybody that can make stuff easy for other players, right? We saw it against Colorado State, we saw it against UNLV, and now we just saw it against Villanova. Is that a valid concern that I should have, Henson?
Yeah. When I look at Creighton, just from looking at stats, just watching the games, they don't really do it for me from a standpoint of a team that's cohesive, or a team that has an identity, or a team that's just a really high level team. They're good. They're a good team, and that's kind of what I think they'll be this year. They don't have any game changers per se. So I like Creighton, but they don't do it for me. So this loss doesn't surprise me. More so, just they're a decent team and can be beat.
McCall, you got
Yeah,
10
I just
seconds.
real quick, and I know we got to go to break. I mean, they average 17 and a half assists a game, so they move it, they share it. When they make threes, they're a dangerous team. Bottom line. So I don't think I totally agree with you on that point, Rob. But look, they'll be just fine, and Coach McDermott is going to get them right.
Yeah, I think they're going to be all right, and they run great stuff. Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.